Well, a senior Aboriginal elder here in Victoria says she's heartbroken after a planned welcome to country at an NRL match on the weekend was cancelled at the last moment on Anzac Day. Wurundjeri elder Aunty Joy Murphy Wandin, Wurundjeri woman and Djirri dancer Kaya Nicholson and Tyson Tuala from the Māori Ngā Mātai Purua dance group join us now to talk about what happened. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Aunty Joy Murphy Wandin, it's really good to talk to you. Thank you very much for coming here on what's been a pretty difficult few days for you. Can you tell us on Anzac Day what happened?
I was driving in to a rehearsal at Amy Park at 4 o'clock, about 20 minutes away, and I received a phone call from the CEO. And his words were, hello Aunty Joy, I've got a message from a decision made by the board that you don't do welcome today, but you can join in the cultural performance. And I was just like, what? And then he said, after the incident at the shrine, and I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't heard any news this morning. And I just said, look, it's pouring with rain. I'm 20 minutes away, so I'll talk when we get in.
So on that morning, Uncle Mark Brown, a Gunditjmara and Bunurong man had been interrupted by neo-Nazis at the Shrine of Remembrance here in Melbourne. It was a story that went around Australia and around the globe. As James said, did they say why the Welcome to Country had been cancelled?
Yeah, he, when I got in, he said it was about the booing that happened. And something like protecting or looking after you, and I said, well, I don't need protecting, I don't think, and I don't understand it. But anyhow, I asked would the board reconsider, and he said no. And then I said, well, we've got performers out there, you need to be able to tell them what's going on. And that's when he went out onto the Oval and spoke to them. As
a bit of background, you've established quite a long relationship. You are one of our most senior elders here in Victoria. You perform welcomes to country across the state and across Australia. Across the state, but you also speak across Australia. What kind of a relationship had you formed with the Melbourne Storm over the past few years?
Well, I thought a very healthy relationship. I think the recent happenings of finding out who's who and that there is a board of men that, come from very rich places and so forth. But it was never a question because it was a great relationship. We were able to talk freely and work things out, what was needed for events. So
they said, no, we don't want a repeat of the booing, I'm guessing. And then you went and you spoke to the others and then decided we can't do this.
No, the CEO went on to ground and spoke to both groups. And then as a result, and they can tell you how that message was delivered to them.
Well, yes, Kaya, you were supposed to be dancing alongside Aunty Joy, who's one of your, most formidable elders, but you decided not to go ahead with the performance when you heard that the welcome had initially been cancelled. Why not?
Well, the way it happened was really disappointing. We were rehearsing from 2:30 onwards in the rain. We had multiple children. We were standing in the rain, had umbrellas, and it was a long day for the kids as well. And unfortunately, the way it happened, it was shocking. The CEO walked up to us at the last part of our rehearsal for the day and spoke and said that the board doesn't feel comfortable having the Welcome to Country today because of the previous events that happened in regards to the Anzac Day booing. And the instant response that we had was, what? Like, what? What are you on about? And my sister, who was on the other side, who didn't hear that first, she saw our faces drop and she said, what's going on? And my instant response was, no, we're not doing it. And I said straight away, we're boycotting, before I even discussed with the group, because instantly it was wrong. Like, if our elder's upset and our elder's crying, we don't perform, we don't do our ceremony, we have to stand by her, and I think that was the right choice.
Tyson, what did you make of all this?
We're just, blessed to be there, first and foremost. It's a massive day for both our countries. Everyone that's, fought on that day, served for their country. So every year it's a space to come together and reflect, I think, on both our shared histories across the sea. And for me, I've never taken part in the Anzac Day performance, although the organisations Te Hononga o Ngā Iwi, Te Arohononga have stood beside the Jerrys and other performers in the past. So for me it was an honour to be there, honour to be standing in the rain, rehearsing alongside Jerrys and their young people and to bring a group. But for me, being told, Aunt's not going to be given the opportunity to partake in a ceremony that's, one of the oldest living ceremonies, I just couldn't understand. I almost thought it was comical. At one point we were like, how can this be happening right now? And when Kaya, I think, inspiringly said, we're not doing this, I just sort of said, yep, that's enough for me, and took the headset off, and my group did the same thing. They didn't question why. They understood that a leader of the other group had said this is not happening, and so we're always going to be in support of that, regardless of how much we wanted to stand and honour our servicemen.
Aunty Joy, you've brought your medals along, which were your late dad's medals. That was really important to you on Anzac Day. Could you tell us, what is a welcome to country? There seems to be a bit of confusion in the community, especially from people who think it's not needed.
Look, it's a very old ceremony that was practiced between communities for thousands and thousands of years. It was a matter of respect. We had a young fella called a Wurundjeri who would walk endlessly, it could be months on time, backwards and forwards, negotiating with both the headmen to agree that they can come onto country and where they should meet and so forth, so that it was a suitable place for food and shelter. And it was also for protection of country as well. So each place that community belongs to is nurtured deeply, and and then that way that we make sure that the bad spirits keep away by bringing in smoke and cleansing the area. And it's about welcoming after that negotiation has been agreed to, and then everyone celebrates whatever the occasion or has sorry business together.
Will you do another welcome to country for the Melbourne Storm?
Sorry,
Will you do another welcome to country for the Melbourne Storm, or is this soured things for you?
I think my heart's broken at the moment, at this time. I think, I just love the strength of these beautiful young people, our brothers and sisters, and I think the board has to make sure that when we do meet, that they're truthful with us, that they provide us with a sanctity of feeling that we should be there to talk to them, not as a tokenistic thing. I don't honestly know if I can do another welcome there.
Well, that is a sad thing to hear, and we thank you very much for your time. It's been a really, really emotional day for you and for other Aboriginal people. Thank you, Joy, and to you, Kaya and Tyson. Thanks for coming on the show this morning. Thank you.